Okay, this is David Bowie live interview from the reality tour. Okay. What you thinking?
Blazing trails through glam, soul, art rock, and pop that many others have followed. Rebel, rebel, how could they know? Hot tramp, I love you so. Ground control to Major Tom. Oh, he was the young America. Many artists might rest on their past achievements, Bowie continues to challenge himself as an artist. And in a few minutes, you'll hear the best and the newest from this artist, musician, actor, internet groundbreaker, and legendary live performer. Tonight, it's David Bowie Live. David Bowie Live is brought to you by Clear Channel Entertainment. For official fan club, tour, and ticket information, visit www.davidbowie.com. Now, live from the Atlantis Theater at Atlantis Paradise Island in the Bahamas, here's your host for David Bowie Live, Bob Buckman.
Welcome to Paradise Island, the Bahamas. Pinch me. It's pretty incredible. At the world-class Atlantis, where in just a few minutes, David Bowie will hit the stage to perform for all of us. And although you might not be one of the Bowie contest winners from the radio station you're enjoying right now, you are still in for some paradise of your own. Paradise for your ears, as the show is captured on radio stations coast to coast on the Premier Radio Network. This is a pretty cool place, an intimate house room for only 500. Set against a Caribbean backdrop and, in fact, some Christmas lights that are draped across the piano, the keyboards. The stage is set for David and his six-piece band to rock this house in just a number of minutes. I will tell you that where I'm from in New York, David's reality tour just blew through the Garden this past Monday, and it was unbelievable. So get ready, as rock's foremost futurist and genre-bending pioneer and transformer in his own right takes the stage. The member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame will be with me in just minutes, and we'll share a couple quick thoughts.
You're listening to David Bowie Live on the Premier Radio Networks. David Bowie, a reality tour, live. Rock's most celebrated chameleon explores the past and defines the future. Experience David Bowie. Tour continues throughout 2004. This January and February, don't miss David Bowie as a reality tour continues throughout North America. And stay tuned in January when a block of new concerts will be announced. David Bowie Live. Once again, here's your host, Bob Buckman.
Here we are backstage at the Atlantis Theater with David Bowie. And David, welcome to Paradise Island here in the Bahamas. How'd you spend the day?
Oh, looking for sailors' caps.
I hope you got some beach time.
Actually, you know what? When I come to a place like this, the first thing I do is drag out a bag of books. I carry so many around with me, and all I've done all day, to be quite honest, is read J.M. Coetzee, who's a South African writer. That's all I've done, but that's wonderful. That's enough for me.
Well, congratulations on the new reality album and the reality tour as well. You were outstanding at Madison Square Garden on Monday night. How did that feel?
It was so weird because it was the first of the American shows. We hadn't done a warm-up show because I'd had influenza for 10 days beforehand. So I cancelled a lot of shows. And it meant that not the first North American show, but the first American show, US show, was The Garden, which is like only crazy people do The Garden as a warm-up show. So it was peculiar because it was very much up in the air, but the audience was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely, as were you. Of all of the artistic roles that you've assumed over the years, which one would you say is closest to your heart?
Probably, let me see, Jim Morrison. Oh no, that wasn't mine, was it? What I'm doing now, frankly, you know, I'm really loving just interpreting my own songs and doing it pretty much with no real big deal set or anything, you know, just doing a straightforward performance, and I'm really enjoying the hell out of it.
Well, yeah, not only moving forward as David Bowie, but you like to look at a lot of the new bands coming out as well.
Yeah, I always keep tabs on what's happening out there. It doesn't mean I like everything, but I do like a good proportion of the new things that are happening. Interpol I like very much, and a couple of bands, Grandaddy, who are not so young anymore, over from the West Coast, and on the East Coast, Mercury Rev, I like very much.
David, you've lived in London and Berlin and we're proud to say New York and elsewhere. Where do you think of as home these days?
I think presently New York is just the greatest buzz for me. It always was, ever since the very early 70s when I first visited. I swore that one day I would live there. And I've lived there several times now. And this latest house incarnation, I guess, is probably, I don't know, maybe one of the last times I'll move. But you don't know, you know, next week it might be Australia.
And you recorded Reality where?
In New York.
As it should be. Well, David Bowie, we really anticipate what's about to happen in a matter of minutes here on the Atlantis Theater stage. Thank you for doing it. Thank you for sharing it with all these radio stations.
My pleasure. It's supposed to be.
Coming up next, David takes the stage.
You're listening to David Bowie Live on the Premier Radio Networks. News? Where's the past?